Hello guys, I hope you're doing great today. So today we're going to talk about the steps that you need to take to optimize your curriculum vitae. And you're going to look at this curriculum vitae already optimized. It was a job that I did for a colleague. And basically we want to check exactly what you need to do to create an optimized curriculum vitae, especially in regards with the job that you're applying for. So for context, in this case, we have somebody who was applying for a job at a supply chain management company, so logistics company. So I guess it's in that industry of supply chain management, and also they also okay. So they were applying for this job, and so how do you optimize that curriculum vitae for the sake of this job that you're applying for? So I think the most important thing that you need to take note is that what matters most is something known as the professional experience. Of course, there are so many categories in this. There are so many sections in this curriculum vitae. We have the personal information section. We have the career objective. We have key skills and competencies. We have professional experience. We have education section. We have certification. We have references. So what you need to focus on is this part known as a professional experience, because this is what tells the person, that the recruiter, that you're going to add value to them. It doesn't matter what school you are. It doesn't matter what certifications you have. What matters is your professional experience and what value you can bring to that company. So how do you optimize this? In essence, this should be the first thing that you should be working on. Most of the other things are the other sections are derived from the professional experience. For instance, you will derive the professional experience, the key skills and competencies from the professional experience, because when you mention that you have skills in this section or in this skill, in this area, maybe it's a computer skills, you have to also substantiate that with your professional experience. So this is the most important section. And of course, the approach that you need to take first of all is to write from the bottom. So the earliest role that you took is the one that is going to be at the bottom. So it comes up, it's like an ascending, it ascends. So when you're reading, when somebody is reading, it descends. So it starts from the most recent to the earliest. So basically what we do is we try to start from the beginning, because once you now understand where you came from, it is easier to build up to the other roles that you took and up to the one that you have currently. So for this case, this is somebody who was still in school during this time, February 2022 and March 2022, but they got an opportunity to be a supply chain research agent for a certain company in a data collection program. So what matters in that role is what that person brought to the company. I mean, in terms of value, the value that that person brought to the company, and the value that that person gained from working in that role. So first of all, of course, you have to mention the kind of job that you are doing, the kind of task that you are given. And then from there, we can now move on to the value that you brought to that company and also the value that you gained from that company. So in this case, we have somebody who participated in a field research campaign to assess the market penetration of the company's alcohol brands across Nairobi, Kajiado, and Limuru. Now, that is now mentioning the kind of job that you are doing. And then it moves on to the next part, which is now more specific or more contextual. You mention exactly what you're doing. So if you want to give more context, especially for the sake of showing exactly what you are doing, so that it relates well with whatever you're applying for. So in this case, we have a supply chain management job application. So if you mention that you collected data on product consumption, stock levels, and distribution trends across Nairobi, Kajiado, and Limuru, that is a statement that is well connected to the supply chain management industry. So giving more context is good. Of course, you have to also be brief. Don't try to write too much, because people don't have time to read CVs. They just want to see what is important, but you need to give that context for the sake of improving your chances. Then we have, then now we get to the main point, the thing that I find to be more valuable. What value did you add to that company? You provided company research. You provided the company's research team with accurate real-time insights that informed their market expansion strategy. So, by virtue of this person collecting data for that company, he or she was able to empower that company to make informed decisions on their market expansion strategy. In addition to that, this person gained something. And what did they gain? They gained or enhanced their communication and networking skills through engagement with bar owners and restaurant owners. So that job entailed going around in bars and restaurants and talking to these people, understanding how their what their work entails, the amount of alcohol that they purchase from the brand and stuff like that, and how people are receiving it and how people are buying, how often people are buying, how often they restock and stuff like that. So through that interaction, all those interactions that she had to go through or he had to go through, you gain communication skills and networking skills. So that is something that you mentioned for you to, like, this is something that you gained from that experience. So that is a 3-tier structure of showcasing what you gained from a certain, what the experience that you had in a certain company or in a certain role. Let's give it a second example. This second example is a procurement attaché at a certain company. So this is another role that they got, I think, in the same year, August to November. I think August, September, October. These are 3 months. So this is a bit longer, a longer time. I guess it's one of the attachment periods. So first of all, this person supported bid opening sessions by organizing proceedings and documenting submitted tenders to ensure transparency. Assisted in evaluating preliminary technical and financial proposals and contributed to scoring, qualifying, and sorting tenders ahead of award decisions. Prepared and dispatched LPOs, facilitated invoice processing, and conducted stock takes to support efficient inventory and payment workflows. Drafted RFQs and RFPs, gaining hands-on experience with procurement documentation. Relieved senior staff by handling repetitive procurement tasks, allowing me to build confidence and real-world experience. So when you look at this one, it's taken a little bit of a different turn. So this one was a more technical job. It was a thing that had so much technical terms in it. And what I advise this person is to include these technical terms that are related to that industry. I think one of the mistakes that many people make when they write their CVs is that they want to make it to seem like a simple statements that, or simple sentences which anybody can understand. That is not what is advisable, because when you're applying for a job, the people who work in that job are people in that industry, and they need to understand or know that you also understand the terminologies and the technical terms in that industry. Because if you cannot do that, then it means that you have a shallow understanding of that industry and you're not as valuable as they will want you to be. So the fact that we've included some of these statements, such as preliminary technical and financial proposals, and then LPOs, invoice processing, RFQs, RFPs, this has been done voluntary, or this has been done with an intention. And that intention is to show that this person has actually gained hands-on experience and hands-on knowledge working under this role. You can also notice that we've also mentioned that there are certain gains that this person had by virtue of him being in that role. For instance, gaining hands-on experience with procurement documentation. So the whole idea of procurement documentation is something that he or she understands, and it's because of this role. And also allowing this part allowing me to build confidence and real world experience. So this is another thing that they gained by being in that role. So you're trying to focus on what you as a person have actually picked out of that role, so that this is the thing that you're going to bring to that next company that is going to supposed to employ you. Let's also look at we'll just go through all of them because we want this message to home. This is a brand ambassador job at Oktoberfest campaign. The job was a promotion campaign focused on recruiting new customers using discount codes, where I successfully recruited over 200 new users during the campaign. Now, let's stop there. That statement by itself is very powerful because, first of all, you've mentioned the thing that you did in that role. And in addition to that, you've mentioned the value that you brought to that company. And you've actually given numbers. So the fact that this person was able to successfully recruit 200 people or new users during the campaign, that is a valuable thing that they added to that company. So you've already shown that you are not just doing work. What you're doing is you're adding value to this company. In addition to that, this person gained valuable networking opportunities that helped improve their communication skills, especially in the art of persuasion. So I understand that recruiting new people into a certain product or whatever is not something that is easy. You actually have to talk to them, persuade them to take that bait. So this is not something that this is a skill that has to be honed, and it takes time to be honed. So if the company sees that this is somebody who has very good persuasion skills and they gained it from doing this kind of job, they'll see you as more valuable. And also, in addition, expanded my ability to engage with and adapt to different kinds of people. So this is just another additional benefit of the networking opportunities that this person got. Then we have this one, brand ambassador for company loyalty program. Again, this is similar to the other one, to the Oktoberfest campaign. You engage in a promotion campaign, recruiting over 300 new members. Again, you've mentioned exactly or a good number of how many people you brought into the company. It's good to give a rough number. It's also good not to go beyond. You can't say that you recruited 1,000 people for a job that took a week. So you have to be also realistic. It's good to also be within the real numbers that you have. And then educated customers on perks. This is also something that you added value to that company by educating customers on perks like redeemable points and rewards. This fosters loyalty to that company. So this is also an addition of the benefit that you brought to that company. And also build resilience on communication and persuasion through daily customer engagement. So of course, these are the gains. This is something you gained from being in that role. Then now we are moving to a little bit more recent jobs. So I think I'll just jump this and come to the most recent one, which is the management trainee. Now this is a bit more technical in terms of it's similar to what we had in the procurement at a company. So we are also mentioning very technical terms in this place, in this section. So this is a job, management trainee job, and part of the job that this person was doing as a management trainee entails things that are done by supply chain management professionals, and especially logistics. So there are so many things that a management trainee in this role that this person was in can do, or the duties and responsibility. But what you need to do when you're applying for a job that is specific or is in a specific industry, you need to look at everything that you are doing or the duties and responsibilities that you have, and zone in on those that really matter, that are related to the company that you're applying for. In this case, we just mentioned roughly on that. This is just the main point that this person was doing, like the main job that this person was doing, which is supporting senior staff in administrative and factory operations with a focus on supply chain and logistics. So this first section is, you mentioned that you are supporting as a management trainee. There are so many things and administrative things and factory operation things that you're supposed to do. But you've also mentioned that you have been focusing on the supply chain logistics. So this is just a simple case, an example of a case where you have to zone in on what matters. And in this case, what matters is the focus on the supply chain and logistics part of management trainee job. Now, to now expound on it, you have to now list the things that you are doing that are under the supply chain and logistics industry. So first of all, for instance, this person was managing tea sorting and dispatch using the ERP system. ERP, I think, is an enterprise resource planning system, and a good example is SAP. So this is something that they did actually. So they were sorting tea, dispatching using the ERP system. Then they were also managing transporters at the ERP, approving purchase orders and releasing purchase requisitions. So these are terms that need to be mentioned. If you don't mention them, then there is no depth in your CV. And then you have inspecting trailers for quality and safety compliance, including verification of driver licenses, insurance, and inspection stickers. When you look at this job that this person is applying for, these are the things that are going to be done in that job: inspecting trailers, managing transporters in ERP, also sorting inventory. So already by mentioning it, it means that you've already done this job. Then we have monitoring and supervising the physical loading and sealing of tea consignments before dispatch. Then finally, we have ensuring all haulage KPIs are met through close coordination and operational oversight. So this person has gone through the job description that they had as a management trainee, and they have zeroed in, or they have really focused on the areas or the things that matter to that job that they are applying for, which is in the supply chain management industry, or most specifically the logistics industry. So you do not have to mention everything that you are doing in that role that you're currently in or you did in the past. All you need to do is to focus on the duties and responsibilities that matter. And you have to use those terminologies, technical terms. This is you're not writing this CV for the general public. You're writing this CV for people who are professionals who understand the terminology. So you have to just use them because it will give you depth. Now that is just basically what entails writing the professional experience. We've talked about it. I guess you've captured the essence of writing this in a manner that matters or is related to the job that you're applying for. Once we are done with the professional experience section, the next thing that you want to produce is now the key skills and competencies. Now, the good thing about writing this section is that we have ChatGPT. And what you can do is just take this section, professional experience, the entire thing, once you've written it, and ask ChatGPT to retrieve the skills and competencies from that section, and also make it a little bit brief. So you don't have to start thinking of what you're going to write here. This is something that you can actually do with ChatGPT. And also for the career objective, you also have there are certain rules that you need to focus on when you're writing the career objective. The career objective is not a general objective. It's a focused objective that is involving that company that you are applying for. So let's just read through this one. Motivated, detail-oriented, and proactive logistics professional with a background in supply chain management, including procurement, dispatch, coordination, and trailer inspection. Eager to join your company's clearing and forwarding team to support efficient tea export operations, ensure regulatory compliance, and advance my expertise in cross-border logistics while contributing to tea export excellence. So the thing that I've excluded from these career objectives, which is necessary for you to have, are the specifics. So instead of saying your company, mention the company's name. Be very specific, and also be very specific on things like the market that you're serving. For instance, in this case, maybe you can say the tea market in Kenya, the tea export market, the Kenya tea export excellence, stuff like that. So what you are trying to achieve in this section is to show that you are that person that they need, that exact company, that what you're going to do is you're going to apply the skills that you've built, and you're going to help them to achieve their goals. So there are many ways you can write this. This is something that takes a bit of trying, but it's good. You can start with a draft from ChatGPT. Of course, just tell it to use the correct rules in writing a career objective, and also have in mind your skills and competencies and your professional experience. Now, once you're done with the career objective, just fill in the professional information, the personal information, name, address, marital status, phone, email, languages sometimes. So if you are applying for a company that is outside the country. And then we move on to the certification sections. Now, in the certification sections, what I want you to understand, I've jumped the education section. So the education section, of course, this is not something that is hard to do. You just list the schools that you went to. Of course, you start with the latest, so university, high school, primary school. Then we go to the certification section. Another thing I just wanted to mention is that you don't necessarily have to mention the grades that you got in your high school and your primary school, and even in your universities. I don't think it really matters, as long as you have that degree. If they want to get more clarification on what you got, they can just go to the attached documents. So it's not necessary here. And mostly what people value most is the professional experience, not your education. As long as you've gotten to a place where you've already finished your university, it shows that you're somebody who can learn, and that is what matters. Now, to the certifications, I want you to also include the certifications that you've been doing. My policy is that when you add as many certifications as possible that are a bit correlated to the job that you're applying for, it shows that you're somebody who is passionate about learning, continuous learning, especially in your industry. It shows that you're a person who is proactive. You're not just seated there and doing stuff just for the sake of it. You're doing it because you really want to be a better version of a better professional, and that is somebody that they can use. That is somebody that can add value to them. So, of course, include the certifications that are most relevant to that company, and then you can also include these others which are adding skills, are adding your whole portfolio. They are making you like a holistic person. So in this case, we had somebody who is doing a certified procurement and supply professional. So he's certified as a procurement and supply professional in Kenya. But in addition to that, he's somebody who has done a certificate in decision making with cases by Ivy Business School, and also a certificate in resilience and safety and strategy online. So these are just things that add to the value of it that you have. So you don't know where these things might apply. You might find that they need somebody who is also adept in strategy or marketing or decision making, critical thinking, and stuff like that. So these are things that you can actually just include, because they will add the characteristics that you have. They will make you seem like a very holistic person and somebody who is multifaceted. Then finally, we have the references. Of course, for the references, you need to put people who actually can be contacted. So before you put any contact here, you need to call that person and tell them that you're going to use their name as a reference, and they might get a call anytime soon. So that if they get that call, they're not going to be astonished, or they're not going to think that maybe it's a scam, or they're just going to respond in a manner that is going to help you. Actually, is going to benefit you in that application. So basically, that is all. I've tried to structure this curriculum vitae in a manner that is very simple to go through and also easy to skim, especially for the ATS CV scanners. So these are, nowadays you find that recruiters are not even reading these things. They just put them in a scanner, in an ATS scanner, and the scanner, the computer tells it whether you are actually you have you are qualified for that job that they are offering. But you find that there's some people who actually take some time to read through. So you're preparing for both the computers and also for the somebody, for the human being who is ready to go through your work. Yes, so that is all. I think you've gone through everything that you need to take note when you are trying to optimize your CV. If you need help in this with this optimization of your CV, you can always reach out to me, ready to help in helping you becoming more career clear, helping you with career clarity. Anyway, that was fun. I hope you've enjoyed and you've learned something. Thank you.